Hello, welcome to the artclasses.com. Today I am going to talk about composition. Composition is very important before you start painting or taking photograph, maybe making cinematography scene. And I'm going to talk about two types of composition today, rule of thirds and golden ratio, and what their relationship are. Rule of thirds are probably the most widely used, pretty similar to golden ratio. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this video might be very useful to you. Let's get started. So what do I mean by rule of thirds in composition? Rule of the third, this means you divided your image into three sections. So basically, I'm just gonna turn this off. Before we start drawing or painting, say if you're gonna do a landscape, then you divide your canvas into three sections, like evenly. Suppose this is even. Move it up a little bit. Then first you draw, if you do it horizontally, you draw the first horizontal line, 1/3, and then another, divided into three parts. And if you're gonna paint landscape, you should not paint the part that you separate the sky and the ground horizontal vanishing point. Sorry, into the middle. You should have it like either here, and then paint your right there, and then or you can have it all the way up here, and then you can have that would be your vanishing point. It would make a more interesting image. So that being said, the other part is divided the vertical section into three parts. What I have is right here even. There you go. So, and then you notice this green 4 dots. It's on the intersection of each line of vertical and horizontal. That's where you should place your figure or subject. So let's just say now I have the lion and maybe some house, mountain, blah blah blah, and then I want to have like some dude maybe standing over here from a distance, and some sort of hood guy, and then you have some kind of sky, red sky. So that's, a pretty basic composition. So basically just repeat the step that I just shown you, and then trying to place your subject or your message around the green dot. So what I've been doing all the time with my image, I just always try to avoid the center. Anything that off the center just a little bit is good. It's gonna fall onto the green dot somehow, either vertically or horizontally, and I'll show you what I mean. Rule of third usually used by a photographer and painter. So you type in Google rule of thirds, then you're gonna see a bunch of image, which is they line up onto the intersection point or the green dot that I show you, or this to that would be like focal point. Even the portrait, or when they're shooting animals or something, anything that off the center is great. The frog, the birds, puppies always work, babies, and a bunch of things. And say recently I just did this speed painting of Monkey King, and what I had in mind in the beginning, just to avoid the center, make it all even, and then make it multiply. So anything, it's not bad of a composition. You have something off the center and you have the figure right along the line. So I guess that fits the rule of composition. I'm just gonna close this, and I have other ones which is in the vertical form. Rotate. And I'm just gonna apply this to one of my old painting. Turn it into multiply. That's how you measure it. You can, you know, when you paint, you can either put this on the top layer so you can measure. So there, anything kind of fall along the line of the where I want the viewer to look at most, which is around here, so it fit right into the composition. So now we're just gonna look at a bunch of painting from my favorite painter. Turn this off. So if you see, this image is by Frazetta, one of my favorite painter of all time. It's also, you know, this character also fall on the intersection of the green dot, which is, and also the tiger. So these are where the artist intended the viewer to look at, and every important thing fall right along the line of the rule of thirds. And so does this one, you know, it's kind of flow along the line. And this one is Norman Rockwell. As you can see, everything is center of the attention of the in this image here. It's her portrait over here, and everything is off to the kind of off the center, basically. And this one also Norman Rockwell, one of my favorite ones. Look at the lighting, it's awesome, composition is great. And then the watch is right around there, his face close to the green dots, and then this kids watching it from aside. So basically avoid the center and trying to make your subject close to the green dot as much as possible. This one's also Norman Rockwell, Doctor and the Doll, and you know, the doll is like right here on the spot, and then this little girl. And here more sample from my favorite painter, John Singer Sargent. This is a portrait. So right along the green dots. Does this one draw the eye of the viewer to the outside. And here's Anders Zorn also, and this is one of my favorite Anders Zorn also. And here are some images. Craig Mullen's painting, he's one of my most favorite. He's master speed painter himself. As you can see, it's also following along the rule of thirds. And so does this very awesome painting of soldiers here, and of course shipwreck and pirates, also following the rule of thirds. The guy over here, or the sunset or sunrise over there. Also, I want to mention this spiral composition, one of the composition piece that a lot of artists use. We call this the golden ratio, and the golden ratio is occur naturally in nature, and it's a perfect ratio for anything that looks beautiful, that draws your eyes into. So when you're trying to paint or draw something, there should be part that leads the eye into this spiral. And if you overlapping rule of thirds to the golden ratio, the green dots fall into this tiny box of golden ratio. And you can also, it doesn't have to be on that region, you can flip it horizontal, it will be right there. So the green dots right there, right there, it will be right around the same area. So I'm just gonna show you some more of this. Apply the golden ratio on here. It'll be like right around here, which is where the master painter put his figure in there and some of the detail, which this line lead you perfectly, pointing, and then to see here, and it might go from here, there, and leading your eyes right around to this part. Or you could do it the other way around, I think. Horizontal and vertical. You could like start it from here and then go there and lead there. But I think the other way is probably the more correct way that he planned it. Same as here, if you drop the golden ratio, you start looking from here, and then look at the horse, and then here, and go from there to lead directly to this shadow. It doesn't have to be in that order of spiral, but everything in that pictures draws you in, so you have to like look at everything in the image. And the interesting thing about this one and this cover is that it's go both way. So it's go from this guy could be in the golden ratio in that green dots, and then so does the other side of the soldier. So you could start it from here and look at a bunch of details, and then it will lead your eye into that dude. Anyways, yeah, golden ratio and rule of thirds. If you stay away from the center, stay around the green dot, then you might eventually meet the golden ratio. But I think golden ratio is a little harder to compose. If you put this on top of your painting and put your painting layer over and turn this to multiply, then you can kind of compose your image to go along with this composition. I hope this video are helpful to you guys, both beginner and medium or advanced. Sometimes we paint, like I usually paint by second nature, like trying to stay away from the center, but a lot of time I didn't think about it that much, but because seriously looking into it, and then probably gonna use it more to make my painting a little better. All right, have a great day. Bye bye.